Hey, good morning, my friends. This is MLive Chief Meteorologist Mark Torregrossa. We, as always, in the month of January, have a lot to talk about as we get into this weather forecast. Looks like a couple of, well, let's call it 1, 2, 3 quiet days across Michigan, and then we get into another storm system on the way. Let me find my comments here, and we'll get going. Bear with me just one moment. Storm system on the weekend, by the way, looks fairly similar to what we had this past weekend, although not quite as much on the freezing rain end. So we'll take a look at that here in just a second. I got to find you here so I can answer some of your questions. There we are. All right, cool. We're ready to go here. Hey, good morning. Jeff Joyce, should you put the plow back on? Yes, you should, because we are in a pattern that if we get enough cold air in place ahead of these storms, we get walloped with snow. So the point here is we're in a pattern of a fairly large storm about once a week with a lot of moisture to it, and the temperatures just have to be right, whether you want rain or whether you want snow. Hey, good morning, everybody. Scott Marsh, you're already into good evening. Okay, that sounds good. All right, let's get to it. And what we're going to talk about today, light precipitation on the way, colder temperatures for Thursday into Friday, and then tracking the next storm. And that's how this storm is different than the last. The last storm, remember, we were in the 40s and 50s for 2 days ahead of the storm, and then the colder air had to come in. This is the opposite. The colder air will be in place and it'll be nudged out by the warmer air. So it'll kind of go opposite of the last storm, I guess you'd say. So let's get to it. Here is the radar right now, and you can see the light precipitation off to the west. That light precipitation will be here in the western part of the state this afternoon, and then scattered in nature across the eastern part of the state. But again, you can see that it's not really well put together as far as that precipitation goes. All right, we're going to be looking at the European here now first to start tracking the storm systems. So this is tonight's weak little system. Rain and snow showers in the southern half, snow showers in the northern half. I'll show you the accumulations on that. Then the punch of somewhat colder air behind it, temperatures into the 20s. Christy Bauer, any chance southeast lower will get into all snow with this one? Doesn't look like it right now. And these models, although they've been 50 or 100 miles off, have been very consistent 3 and 4 days out. This is the kind of pattern that the models handle fairly well. Progressive pattern of storm systems moving across the country. So southeast Michigan, for this to track to the south into central Ohio, leave you all in snow, has to change quite a bit. Okay, so we're into Thursday. Should be a decent travel day. We're into Friday now. Let's see. And we're into Friday afternoon and Friday evening. So Friday should be a pretty good travel day. It looks like the snow starts in Friday evening. And I do accept the timing on this because the other model that we look at is about the same. Now, again, could slow down or speed up 6 hours at this time frame out. So it could creep in before dark on Friday, could wait until towards sunrise Saturday. Hey, good morning, Michael Green. Tight lines to you too, buddy. All right, so we're at Saturday morning, 7 a.m. And we're into the precip, and you can see the snow, the freezing rain mixture, and the rain. And as we go through Saturday, what we're going to focus on is where the center of this circle is, okay? Remember, the center of this circle is the center of the storm North of that, you're generally all snow at this time of the year. South of it, you're generally all rain. And right along it, or just to the north of it, is where the mixture lies. And so this model tracks the center of that storm from about Grand Rapids to Saginaw. What does that mean? Grand Rapids to Saginaw would eventually turn to rain. The mix would stay north of that, and then the snow, we'd call it the northern third to northern half of lower, and you'd get into rain in the south. That's after the initial cold burst, which could be snow transitioning to freezing rain for an hour or two. Generally not a huge accumulation in this kind of scenario because it goes to rain and then it melts off. Before we get to Sunday, this is Saturday night and Sunday, then we get on the backside of the storm, windy, colder, snow showers, accumulating lake effect snow on the west side of the state. A little comparison for you here of the U.S. model. Let's go to Friday night. The U.S. model, about the same, not doing its tricks of running too fast. Hey, good morning, Jocelyn Zick from Standish. Good morning, Christina from the Netherlands. Rain, rain, rain here. Okay. Yes, a lot of tight wind bars, Dale Downing. Gale and lake flooding. Again, northwesterly winds behind this storm system. Different from the last storm, because the last storm tracked a little farther to the south, and so we had a northeast wind on Saginaw Bay. This one probably would not make a northeast wind. This is midday Saturday. Look at the storm center again. This model, maybe 50 miles farther to the north, maybe 100 miles farther to the north than the European. But the point being, at this far out, they're both pretty consistent on an idea, okay? It could waver a little bit, and that makes a big difference on what you get at your house, but it's close as far as this far out. And I like the timing is consistent, starting Friday night. Now, this one model we know runs fast, and by Sunday, middle of Saturday night, it already plows it over to the East Coast. It still has that northwest wind, still has the lake effect. So that scenario is probably going to be come pretty true as well. All right, so today, what's going on? Let's go back to this. As we get into the afternoon, 3, 4, 5 o'clock. Hey, Ryan Lynch, what up? Ryan L. All right, so this evening, 6 o'clock, we've got snow showers, we got rain showers around, kind of becoming a little more vigorous in the evening hours. Okay, so just watch for the slickening of roads in the evening hours. And tomorrow morning we go to lake effect type snow. How much? Not much on this one. And we're not going to go out to the next one just yet. So we're talking 1, 2, maybe 3 inches at the Mackinac Bridge, maybe 3 inches eastern UP, maybe an inch down to Bay City and Midland and the Thumb. Detroit, Ann Arbor, Grand Rapids, you don't have to deal with shoveling any snow out of this one. And leave you with the temperatures. Make sure we got the proper perspective. Yes, we do. Okay. All right, Scott Marsh, a night worker. I gotcha. Okay. Overnight matters. Yes, I hear you there, buddy. All right, so today we're fairly mild. Saginaw 36, Grand Rapids 37, 40 Lansing. Tomorrow is a little colder. Friday is colder, in the 20s, and that's why I say this storm coming has a different setup. It has the opposite setup. Last setup, remember, we were 40s and 50s, which also allowed us to have 3.5 inches of rain, which I don't see that with this storm system. Maybe an inch of rain. But now this storm system coming, we're going to be cold at the start. So it starts to snow, transitions to freezing rain. Usually in that transition, it only lasts an hour or 2 or 3, and then goes to rain in the southern parts, and probably not much of a freezing rain zone with this one that stays there, if you will, if I make sense on that. Then we go to Saturday, and again, as that low center tracks across the center part of the state, it pulls temperatures above freezing for a good chunk of the southern half. Sunday, we turn colder, Monday and Tuesday. And yes, it looks like next week we could actually have some about normal type January temperatures on the way. All right. Hey, good morning, Clarkston, Kathy. Good morning, Steve Jakubiak. And Diane Olson. Will winter ever come? Yes, winter will come. I mean, we got all of February and all of March. Rick Yarling, do you forecast a lot of snow in February? Now, see, that's the thing. If we trend to a little bit colder and stay in the storm track, then we do get a snowy month. But as far as an overall winter, every day that we don't get snow, it's harder to pile up an above normal winter as far as snowfall. Saturday in Wayne County, are we really looking at possible ice? No, not in Wayne County. I wouldn't say, at the outset, perhaps you might have a 1 to 3 hour period of freezing rain. And then eventually at some point on Saturday in Wayne County, it would warm up if this track stays true. And I think it would have to change a lot from the consistency right now for Wayne County, the Detroit area, to go to all winter weather and not get to some sort of rain. Snow forecast totals for Friday evening for Temperance. Friday evening, it'll start Friday evening or Friday overnight. So I don't think you'll have any snowfall totals in Temperance Friday evening. Someone got snowshoes from Santa. Well, you're going to be able to use them, but you might have to go into the northern half of Lower Michigan, as is quite typical. Lisa Reed, what about Flint? Flint right now is a Friday night start. It's a snow to freezing rain for a couple of hours to rain on Saturday, back to snow showers Saturday night and Sunday. That's all the details I'm going to give you right now. And I will say that this kind of storm, with the amount of moisture it has, where the heavy snow band sets up, is a 6-inch or more type snow. This is another 6 to 10-inch type snow where the band of snow is just north of that low pressure center. So right now we'd be looking at something as a 6-inch plus somewhere in the northern, I want to call it the northern third of Lower Michigan, maybe from maybe from Ludington, more likely Manistee to Houghton Lake to Tawas northward. South of that, you're going to get mixed in, and we've learned that really takes the amounts down. So there you have it. I'm MLive Chief Meteorologist Mark Torregrossa. Thanks for joining me this morning. We'll keep you updated here on MLive. Check the website, and I will have posts this morning about what's going on the lakes. And, of course, I'll keep you updated on the coming storm. Have yourselves a great Wednesday. I'm MLive Chief Meteorologist Mark